Last week against Seattle, or Monday night, they had 6 turnovers in that game, 3 fumbles, 3 interceptions. You just can't win football games doing that. So I think here early in this game, they want to make sure they don't make any mistakes, particularly on their side of the field.
Now you see Wilson's numbers in 1984, 9 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. It has been a Mark Wilson that has been hampered, Gene, by that thumb injury ever since the game at Soldier Field against the Bears.
Well, they say his thumb is much better now. Tom Flores likened Mark Wilson throwing the football before like a baseball pitcher throwing a changeup. You know, when you put the ball back into the back of your hand. Mark said he really didn't have any feel on it. Throwing the short passes, no problem. But when he had to get some zip on it, it just couldn't do it. But he says he's felt a lot better this week, and I would think that the Raiders want to get back into that vertical offense that we've heard so much about over the years.
You played quarterback for a time in your career. It has to affect you when you have a thumb that's not working properly.
The way I threw the ball, I didn't even need a thumb.
Second down and 8 from the 35. Wilson will put it in the air.
There it is.
Looking for Marcus, and he's wide open. It out, a gain of 30 yards, but a flag is down way back at the line of scrimmage, and Wilson is blocking backwards.
The Raiders love to get that matchup when they can get Marcus one-on-one with a linebacker. That time it was Gary Spaney. Let's listen for the call.
65 offense, holding, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Mickey Marvin, the right guard, guilty party. Mickey's had a lot of experience down there. He probably knows how to hold well. He just got caught that time.
Well, as I said at the outset, the Raiders are starting a pair of guards today who were not their starting guards at the beginning of the year. Of course, when it all began, Charlie Hanna and Don Mosbar were the starting guards. They have since been injured. And now it is Kurt Marsh and Mickey Marvin, the guard. Here comes number 34, Greg Pruitt. He tries the right side, moves it out near the 27-yard line. He is knocked off his feet by Gary Spaney.
Phil, in the last meeting in Kansas City when these teams played earlier, one thing they did was run to the right side away from Mike Bell, who was a defensive end on the right side for the defense, because he was playing so well. There you see him, number 99. They ran to Art Still's side. Now, that's not, you know, dropping off very much. Those two defensive ends, Art Still and Mike Bell, maybe the best pair in football. We don't expect the Raiders to run to Bell's side an awful lot. We might expect him to run towards Art Still's side and then maybe try to turn it up, hoping that Still will play upfield a little more.
Wilson with time down the field, intended for Cliff Branch. He cannot get around the rookie out of Temple, Kevin Ross.
You know, Mark Wilson took some shot after he delivered this football. Some of the Raiders were complaining as they watched number 99. This is Mike Bell. Bruce Davis. Ooh, does he give Davis a shot? Now, some of the Raiders are saying that that's roughing the pass. And look at Henry Lawrence coming up there. Where's the flag? Where's the flag?
Ray Guy averaging just a shade over 42 yards a punt. J.T. Smith, the only Chief to return punts this year, is the lone man at the 35. And Guy, a low punt. And he sends it out of bounds near the 26-yard line, and that is where the ball will be spotted. A 46-yard punt for that man. I remember when Ray Guy, a 46-yarder, was a daily staple. Here come the Chiefs. It is Bill Kenny. The rookie Herman Hurd is the setback out of southern Colorado. The other running back, Billy Jackson. The receivers, Carson Marshall, and the tight end is Willie Scott. The offensive line, it's a veteran line. Herkinoff, Buddy, Rush, Condon, and Lutz. Line that has, by and large, stayed healthy all year long. In fact, the Chiefs' quarterbacks have only been sacked a total of 20 times. Now the Chiefs go with a pair of tight ends. It is Ed Beckman and Willie Scott. Look for the short stuff early. The Chiefs would like to establish that possession passing game early in this ball game. Kenny, there's the out pattern. It is Henry Marshall, and he is knocked down at the 32-yard line by Mike Haynes. Now, when you talk about the Raiders' defense, it is the 11 guys who, by and large, over the years, have really gotten the job done for Tom Flores' group. Howie Long, Bill Pickell filling in for an injured Reggie Kinlaw today, and Lyle Alzado. The linebackers, Van Pelt, Squarick, Nelson, and Martin. And the defensive backs, Hayes, Davis and McElroy. Now the Chiefs shift out of the eye. The tight end Willie Scott aligns himself at the top of your screen. 2nd down and 2. The ball just shy of the 35. The give is to Herman Hurd, and he runs into trouble. Big trouble. It is Brad Van Pelt, 12th year out of Michigan State.
Let's take a look at the right side of the Kansas City line. Look at number 72, David Lutz, #1 draft choice. Doesn't do the job. That Raider defense swarming in there, catching her. There's a fellow, Jim Plunkett, who would be happy that Stanford beat Cal yesterday. Might see some action today, suffering from an abdominal pull and also, I think, a groin injury. But things get tough for the Raiders, and the other fellow can't do it. We'll see him.
That's Stephon Page in motion on 3rd and 5. Short drop. Flag is down. 2 flags go down. The pass intended for Billy Jackson out of the backfield. And the area the flag went down would indicate offensive holding.
Well, Greg Townsend, number 93 for the Raiders, was clapping his hands. I think he feels someone held him. Let's find out. Well, there's the indication holding. Of course, the Raiders refusing the penalty. Should get the ball back in good field
fouls
position.
on number 72. 72 was illegally in motion, and he also held. Both penalties were refused.
If you're going to be a Bear, be a Grizzly.
David Lutz looking for a new jersey to hide under.
He's 6'5", 285, and I don't think he'd like you to call him Lutz. His name is David Lutz, so
you're right,
make sure.
David Lutz. Arnold gets it away. Oh, does he back Greg Pruitt up at the 8-yard line? Good return out across the 22, near the 23, and down to the 24. A 59-yard punt for Jim Arnold. 14-yard return for Pruitt, and that is where the Raiders will put it in play at their own 24. I want to remind you to join us Thanksgiving Day for England and the Cowboys. On 1st down, that is Frank Hawkins, his 4th year running back out of Nevada, Reno. Calvin Daniels takes him down. Now, we thought we would be in store for a good afternoon of football here at the Coliseum. The temperatures in the mid-50s. Heavy overcast. It sprinkled earlier this morning. And the word is light showers could fall before the afternoon is over. 2nd down and 7 from the 27.
Mark Wilson loves to go to his tight end, Todd Christensen. Marcus in motion. Going for it to Branch.
And running step for step with Cliff Branch at the 30-yard line was Lloyd Burris.
Well, Cliff has had some problems with a groin injury. Came back last week or last game against Seattle, caught 2 passes, had missed 2 games. I think this is really the first game that you could say that he's at 100%. He's had some career, 499 receptions, looking for his 500th reception today.
On 3rd down now from the 27. That is Dokie Williams in motion. Wilson looks, now releases, and it is almost picked off. Greg Hill could not have been in better position. Intended for Marcus Allen.
I think the problem is that he wanted to go to Todd Christensen, number 46. Let's take a look from the end zone. You see, Christensen is being late because a linebacker on the outside got a good jam on him. As you can see, he's throwing that ball over there, nearly coming up with an interception. Let's watch number 46, Todd Christensen. Watch how that's number 29 who's on him right now. That's Albert Lewis. He's a quarterback. Look, he gets a good jam. He holds him up, and he's late in going in there. I think that's where Mark Wilson wanted to throw the football. Good job by Albert Lewis.
Ray Guy, his 2nd punt of the day. And again, he sends it high and long. J.T. Smith at the 29-yard line. And he won't get much. Smith diving out across the 33 near the 34. For Guy, a 44-yard punt. J.T. Smith, a 4-yard return before Ted Watts levels him. So here comes Bill Kenny, who, like Mark Wilson, Gene, has been hampered by injuries. Missed last week. He had the thumb injury very early in the season. Later got the shoulder and the knee.
So But when he's healthy, he can do some job. Last year, 7 games, over 300 yards.
Awesome.
The second best in the NFL. Only Dan Fouts has done better. Dan has 8 games, over 300 in one season.
Well, he threw for over 4,000 total yards in 1983. There's the counter. Herman Hurds got it, takes the handoff, moves out near the 37-yard line. Bill Pickel, second-year nose tackle out of Rutgers.
Matt Millen, number 55, the stand-up defensive tackle, they call him. Linebacker on the inside, injured. They miss him because he plugs up the middle better than probably 2 men on any other football team.
I don't think he's probably too pleased with what happened to his alma mater yesterday. Notre Dame took Penn State to the proverbial cleaners. Second down.
Raiders up tight on the outside. Man-to-man coverage.
Kenny laid it out for all to see, intended for Carlos Carson. And Lester Hayes running step for step.
The best man in catch-up coverage in football. When I say catch-up, what I mean is just like your Carlos Carson is a 4-4 man in the 40-yard dash. But look at Lester. He's running stride for stride with him. In order for the receiver to catch a ball in this situation, it has to be thrown perfectly. Or thrown short, so short that the receiver can come back and catch it. But Lester is so big and strong that not many receivers are going to be able to come back through him to catch the football.
Third down and 7. Inside handoff. That is Ken Lacy, the rookie out of Tulsa. Turns the corner, is dropped shy of the first down at the 41-yard line. It is Rod Martin. And the Kansas City Chiefs will have to punt it away.
Well, they want to try to get the, they're very afraid of the Raiders' pass rush. So in these situations, they want to try to slow down that rush. A play like this, of course, they hope they can pick up the first down, but they want the Raider defensive linemen to start thinking they might do some other things. So this is sort of a setup play. Try to slow down that pass rush some.
Boy, Arnold lays it out. He had a 59-yarder a few moments ago. Pruitt's got it. Tries to turn the corner, will not get around the corner. A flag is down at the 11-yard line. A 50-yard punt for Arnold. For Pruitt, a 3-yard return.
I think that one's going to go against the Raiders. About half the distance, pushing back to about the 5-yard line or so.
Yep, illegal use of the hands, holding against Los Angeles.
Illegal block in the back, number 57 during the run back. Half the distance to the goal line, first down.
Now that is against Tony Caldwell. Gene, this is the 49th meeting between the Chiefs and the Raiders. Go all the way back there. They're old-time AFL rivals, all the way back to 1960. Boy, how the names have changed. Remember the guys by the name of Abner Haynes, Cotton Davidson, Johnny Robinson when the Chiefs played at Memorial Stadium in KC. For the Raiders, of course, it was Blanda, Art Powell, Freddie, the Hammer Williamson, and Jim Otto. Those days, Raiders are playing at old Frank Ewell Field up in Oakland. They have played some absolutely tremendous games over the years. That's Kenny King, and he will get nowhere. The Chiefs shut it down. Jerry Blanton is there with help from Duron Cherry.
Kansas City defense, traditionally over the last several years, have been a good team against the run, playing the 3-4 well. Their linebackers don't play that well against the pass, but they do have good run support. There you see number 20, Duron Cherry, the free safety, coming up, helping out on the tackle.
Well, the guy who won't get credit for anything in terms of the tackle totals there was Art Still. He jammed up the right side of that Raider offensive line, but now Marcus Allen wants to try it, and he won't do a whole lot better. Moves it out across the 8-yard line. It is Mike Bell who slides in to make the hit.
The Raider offense this year in particular, they really haven't had many long sustained drives. And I know coming into this game, I talked to some of the defensive players and the defensive back coach, Willie Brown, and he said, what we need to do for our offense is get some turnovers because they haven't been able to have the long sustained drives that we're accustomed to. And the big reason for that, of course, is the turnovers.
Third down and 8 from the 8. Play action. Wilson sends it out to Allen. Flag is down. Marcus cannot escape the grasp at the 9-yard line. A gain of 1. A flag down way back at the goal line. Albert Lewis, the first man to reach Marcus. And it is holding against Los Angeles, a penalty the Chiefs will gladly decline, and Ray Guy will come on to put it away.
79 offense, penalty refused, 4th down.
Well, that was against Bruce Davis, number 79, the left tackle. Bruce Davis has had his share of problems this year, but we should say, though, that Bruce Davis has had knee problems all season long. Just before every game, he's had to have it drained. And, of course, everyone knew about the problems he had against the Bears when he was taken out of the game for Shelby Jordan. But in his defense, he has had problems with his knees, both knees.
Guy from 5 yards deep in the end zone. J.T. Smith at the midfield stripe. At the 41. Oh, look here. And Ray Guy saves a touchdown at the 37-yard line. A 49-yard bunt, a 23-yard return for J.T. Smith.
Watch how J.T. Smith just stands there. He stands there and he waits for the coverage to get down. Then he makes his move. What a job of running. Ray Guy really saves a touchdown here by forcing him back inside into the coverage. Let's take another look. Watch how he stands there. He got the ball, he stands, he waits where the blocks are set up, and does a nice job of running. And Ray Guy, who's a good athlete, he saves a touchdown here, forces him back to the inside, back into the coverage.
The Kansas City with superb field position now from the Raider 37-yard line. No score. 6 minutes, 41 seconds to play, first period. Oh, Otis Brown is met in the backfield by the defensive end, Howie Long.
Who was trying to block Howie? Number 75. Let's take a look. Oh, it's the center, but Howie was slanting the other way. Bob Rush had no chance at all. The Pro Bowler, 6'5", 270 in his 4th year, just flew in there. 13 quarterback sacks last year, leading the team.
Second down and 13 now from the 40. Quick pitch to Otis Brown again. And he won't do any better. He tries to dive ahead to the 40-yard line again. It is Howie Long. Right now, we want to take you to New York for this update. The Buffalo Bills have finally won a football game.
You know, the one thing about the Buffalo Bills, week in and week out, although they continue to lose, they maintain an awful lot of enthusiasm. And I think their head coach, Kay Stevenson, deserves some credit for, you know, having his team be able to hold up under all of that, all of the adversity and pressure and so forth. And finally, can you imagine how happy they are now beating Dallas? Delay a game. It is now second down and 8. Kansas City has tried to rush the ball 5 times thus far in the first period. They have a goose egg to show for those efforts. Bill Kenny surveying the Raider defensive alignment. The Raiders showing man-to-man defense. Short drop. Quick release out of the backfield. That's Lacy, the rookie. He has the first down and takes it out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Van McElroy, a gain of 13 yards for the Chiefs. Ken Lacy is a good receiver. He had 8 receptions coming into this game. And as you mentioned earlier, Phil, Kansas City is looking for the quick pass. They don't want to have to deal with that Raider pass rush. Get the ball to either their running backs or wide receivers on a short drop, or if they take it from the spread formation, get rid of it quickly and try to let them break a tackle or two. They're not going to make a living taking the traditional 3.5 seconds to throw the football.
A first down now at the Raiders' 21-yard line. 5 minutes, 37 seconds to play in the first quarter here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. That's the Otis. Won't get much. Raiders pursue very effectively. Clubs up the football, and the officials rule he was down. No fumble. The Chiefs will retain possession. Rod Martin with the hit that sprung the ball loose, but Brown was already down.
Number 36, Mike Davis, a strong safety. There you see him. He made that play. He stopped the action, slowed up the running back. Look at the pursuit. Count all those black jerseys, 4 or 5 of them. Ball pops loose, but that's already dead. As soon as that man hits the ground, the play's dead.
Second down and 10 now from the 21. Ken Lacy and Billy Jackson now the setbacks.
Blitz is on.
Fumbles the ball. The Raiders have it.
Rod Martin. Good score. Was trying to make up for his Trojans yesterday. He was looking like a tailback. Got some great blocks. The fans have finally come to life. 77 yards. The Raiders doing to Kansas City what has been done to them so often. The turnover. Let's watch from the end zone. The press is going to come from Mike Davis, number 36. There, strips the ball loose. 53, Rod Martin picks it up. Now watch the blocks that he gets out in front. One block there. Number 22, Mike Haynes. Look at the block Mike Haynes gets. Boy, that's some job of playing for the defense.
Chris Bard tacks on the point after. And the Raiders on a 77-yard fumble recovery by Rod Martin have jumped out in front of the Kansas City Chiefs. 7-0.
Well, it was so nice. Let's watch again. Look at the blocks. Lyle Alzado gets one there. Van McElroy, he's helping out. There's Mike Davis, number 36. But the key block comes from 22, Mike Haynes. Look at Mike run past everybody. Watch this. Carlos Carson, number 88. He's the man that can save the touchdown. Doesn't do it.
Well, the first time they met, Gene, the third week of the NFL season, there you see Rod Martin. It was Kevin Ross of the Chiefs who returned an interception, 71 yards, that gave Kansas City a 13-0 lead. This time it is the man in black and silver, Rod Martin, a 77-yard return on a fumble, and it is the Raiders on top 7-0.
That's a long way to run. Rod's trying to get that oxygen in a hurry, isn't he? Another 5 yards, I don't think he would have made it. He'd have fell flat on his face. Come on, Rod, get that oxygen.
Now we welcome those of you who just watched New England bang the Colts 50-17 here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. The Raiders, Rod Martin right there has just returned a fumble, 77 yards to stake L.A. to a 7-0 lead over Kansas City. I'm Phil Stone along with Gene Washington. Kansas City will now operate from their own 24-yard line. So the clock stops with 4 minutes, 35 seconds to play, and the first quarter will return to the Coliseum where the Raiders lead at 7-0. Kansas City with the football. They are trailing the Raiders 7-0. I'm Phil Stone along with Gene Washington. Temperature here in Los Angeles, 57 degrees. Keep your eyes on number 22, Michael Haynes.
The man with the key block on that fumble recovery for the touchdown.
That is Theodis Brown. He moves it across the 26, near the 27, a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Now Seattle, some of you saw that game. The Seahawks over Cincinnati 26-6. So the Hawks will remain atop the AFC West. The Giants over St. Louis 16-10. New England thumping Indianapolis 50-17. That's got to be bad news for the Raiders. Philadelphia over the Skins 16-10. Here it is 7-0 Los Angeles.
Raiders man-to-man defense up tight.
Theodis Brown. Howie Long is all over him, and down he goes.
No one is blocking Howie Long, number 75. The sensational Pro Bowl player. Let's take a look. Watch for number 75 on the right side of your screen. He just blows past 65, Tom Condon, the guard for the Chiefs. Motioning Fielder to go back the other way. Well, I tell you what, if the Raiders were going to run away from Mike Bell, the Chiefs had better run away from Howie Long, because they certainly aren't having any success going to his side.
Said a moment ago, Gene, that Seattle atop the AFC West. Of course, they are one game behind the Denver Broncos in the AFC West. Kenny, Crossing pattern, it is complete at the 28-yard line. There to Stephon Page, second year out of Fresno State. For Page, only his 20th catch of the year. Somewhat surprising, I think, coming into the season. Page was the guy that Mackovic wanted to go too long. Hasn't happened a great deal.
But he still has a good average per catch.
Yes, he does.
Coming into this game, 17.2. Went to high school right here, Phil. Guess whose high school? Long Beach Poly High School. Yours truly.
You don't know anything about that, do you? Jim Arnold. Both punters have been booming him. Greg Pruitt at the 18. Will turn the corner. And is banged out of bounds at the 33-yard line. 54-yard punt, a 16-yard return before Jeff Payne takes him out. So on come the Raiders. They have a 7-0 lead. No thanks to their offense. It was Rod Martin, a linebacker, who put them ahead. Quarterback Jim Plunkett could play should Los Angeles need his services. 1st and 10 from their own 33. The give is to Hawkins. He's across the 33 near the 34. Gary Spaney drops him. Spaney, the number 2 tackler on Kansas City's defense. What's interesting, Gene, is that a defensive lineman is actually number 1 on Kansas City in tackles. Art Still. Very unusual. Very
unusual, particularly with the 3-4 defense, where it's the job of those down linemen to draw the blocks from the offensive line and allow the linebackers, particularly inside linebackers, to make most of the tackles.
Well, he had 12 tackles a week ago in the losing effort to the Oilers. Wilson escapes the rush, escapes 2. Dives out to the 49, checked at the 39-yard line. A gain of 4 before Jerry Blanton stops him.
Well, again, the key as far as the Raiders are concerned in this football game is being able to execute. They're not going to do any plays any differently, no fancy plays or none any more fancy than they've done before. But what they want to do is run what they've run before, but execute, hold on to the football, and avoid the costly turnovers.
3rd down and 3 from the 40. Wilson, 5-yard drop, has time. Now the pocket collapses. So does Mark Wilson. Art Still, we spoke of him a moment ago.
Well, I tell you what, Art Still prevented a sure completion because Todd Christensen was running all alone right over the middle. Finally, he'd been able to get away from a linebacker and get free. But Art Still said, I'll have none of it. Sacked the quarterback. Chiefs are going to get the football.
Well, you saw that graphic, and that was a very, very impressive graphic. Kansas City, with their 43rd sack of the year, still has 11.5. Virtually no rush. Guy gets it away. Short punt. J.T. Smith moves up now at his 29.
Well, he put up his hand like he was going to fair catch it. I thought he was going to fair catch it. He put his hand up. There was no flag.
Darrell Byrd finally stopped him, but J.T. Smith ran right into Stacy Torrance.
Let's see if he puts his hand up. Look there. Oh. Well, now, he's changed your mind in a hurry, didn't you, J.T.?
Well, he moves the ball out near the 34-yard line, where the Chiefs will have the football. To play in the first quarter, Kansas City with the ball at their own 34-yard line. Kenny, you look at his career numbers, almost 56% completion rate. Play action to Theotis. Now Theotis flares out, looking for the screen. Not there. Finds Willie Scott, the tight end. He is stopped shy of the first down across the 41-yard line. It will be 2nd down and 2. Bob Nelson on the tackle.
One way that you can buy yourself some time as a quarterback to hold that pass rush off is to play action fake, and that's what Kenny did that time, which allowed him a little more time to stand back there and look over the coverage, and he found Willie Scott, who's not been one of his primary receivers. That was his 22nd reception of the year.
Well, if Kansas City is going to have any luck moving the ball, they're going to have to find a way to lasso number 75, Howie Long. There's the give. Quick hitter up the middle. It's Theotis Brown. Brown also coming back from problems. Saw limited action last couple of weeks with the ankle and the turf toe. That's the gun ending the first quarter of play. We've got 15 minutes in the books, and the Raiders are holding on to a 7-0 lead over the Chiefs.
75, Howie Long, the man who has been giving Kansas City an awful lot of problems so far in the first half here. They're going to have to block him if they can run the ball at all.
Herman Hurd is the lone setback behind Bill Kenny. That is Carson in motion to the top of your screen. Marshall hit immediately by Mike. Check that, Lester Hayes. Now, I couldn't believe it. Yesterday, Tom Flores said that he felt Kansas City would go after Lester Hayes as you look at first quarter statistics. Look at yards passing, Gene.
Well, but look at the score.
Yeah.
Turnovers. Turnovers. That can kill you. That man, number 46, sitting on the helmet, though, I'm sure before this game's over, he's going to make a significant contribution to the Raiders. Todd Christensen.
Hurd and Billy Jackson now the setbacks.
Man-to-man defense. They're going for Lester. Oh!
Carlos Carson looking for a flag, and there will be none.
I tell you what, he had good reason to look for that flag. Lester is not going to play against many wide receivers as fast as Carlos Carson is. He's complaining to the official because Lester had his arm on him, and the ball was still in the air. Let's watch again from the sideline. Lester realized that he was beat. Lester is beat on this play. We might be able to see the look. Lester reaches now, and he pulls him back. Now, the official may have said that Carlos didn't have a chance to catch the ball had he been interfered with or not. I'm not so sure, and I can see why Carlos was upset with that call.
Kenny 5 of 8 now for 46 yards. Stephon Page in motion. There's the draw. That's Hurd. Tries the inside. Now pops it outside. He's inside the 30-yard line and down at the 29. A first down for Kansas City. A 14-yard gain for Herman Hurd. 14 minutes left, first half. Let's go to New York for this update. And what is so interesting, Gene, back in 1983, these Raiders had a chance to select Dan Marino and instead took Don Mosbar.
Well, but you can say that about a lot of people. A lot of people had a chance to select Jim Brown and passed him over, too.
There's the release. Pass in and out of the hands of Henry Marshall. Penalty marker down on the near sideline. And it will be against illegal motion against Kansas City.
You know, Phil, we'll listen for the call.
Illegal motion offense. Number 81 and number 85 were both moving illegally before the snap.
Both the tight ends. 81 Willie Scott and 85 Ed Beckman. He's on the sidelines there with head coach John Mackovic.
First down and 15 now from the 35.
Oh, we got Lester matched up again with Carlos Carson.
Here's the reverse. Look here, little razzle-dazzle.
The Chiefs were trying to fool Mike Haynes. They had Henry Marshall over on his side, but it didn't work at all. Handoff, then the reverse to the wide receiver, number 88, Carlos Carson. He's going to pitch the ball back to Kenny. Kenny is looking for Henry Marshall, but they didn't fool the superstar cornerback, Mike Haynes. He was with Marshall all the way. Howie Long, Lyle Alzado on the sack.
For Long, his second sack of the afternoon. He has been all over Bill Kenny and company. Second down and 26 from the shotgun. Crossing pattern, and Kenny delivers it behind Theodis Brown.
Theodis has played a little football on this field, having played here at UCLA. Getting back into the lineup after some nagging injuries, and they're awfully happy to have him back because he's such a smart player and adds so much to their offense, not only as a runner, but as a receiver and being able to pick up blitzes.
Bob Nelson being worked on. Third down now and 26. From the 46-yard line of Los Angeles.
6-7 defensive backs for the Raiders.
That's Stephon Page, and he will be well short of any first down yardage. Now the Raiders and the Chiefs are going at it. Mike Davis and Ken Lacey. I think Ken Lacey is the guy who delivered the blow on the strong safety.
Yeah, but this is the problem. What happened, Ken Lacey came in late on a block, but Mike Davis reacted and went over to search out Ken Lacey and grabbed his face mask. Let's watch again. The Raiders in the zone coverage, they know that they can give them a short pass. Stephon Page, number 83, comes up with the reception. Okay, they do what they want to do, the Raiders on defense. There you see Lacey, number 40, coming in. He's blocking on Mike Davis. But that's not where the flag is thrown. Mike went after him. That's what the officials saw. They missed what you just saw at home on the replay.
And Davis is flagged for a face mask. An automatic first down, and a big first down for Kansas City.
Sometimes that Raider intimidation can get a team in trouble, and this is a good example of what it can do.
Lacey, Theodis Brown, the running back.
Comes a blitz.
He wants to put it up. Carlos Carson, he overthrows him. Running step for step was Lester Hayes.
Carlos Carson had a half step on Lester Hayes. Let's watch. Now, the way Lester wants to play, he'll let the man go, then he feels he can run with him, that he has the speed to play catch-up. And if he doesn't catch up as fast as he is, the ball has to be thrown perfectly. On that play, Bill Kenney just didn't have the time to sit back there and wait for his receiver to get open and throw it in there because he got so much pressure from the defense, had a blitz coming from the strong safety, Mike Davis.
12 minutes and 31 seconds to play in the second quarter here at the Los Angeles Coliseum. The Raiders on top of Kansas City 7-0. Now flags will fly. And they'll walk it off.
Number 77 offense, 5-yard penalty.
That's Rich Baldinger, second-year right guard out of Wake Forest. Gene, I suppose it is safe to say that in the Kansas City offensive scheme of things, their quarterback, they have to rely on Kenny, i.e. Todd Blackledge, to make the big plays.
Well, they really haven't had a running back who is an impact player in the last year or so they count more heavily on their passing game than anyone else.
Kenny. Stephon Page, almost a circus catch at the 9. And he cannot hold on. Mike Haynes takes him out of bounds.
You know, we hear so much about Lester Hayes, but on the other side, Mike Haynes is a better pure defender. He reminds me an awful lot of Jimmy Johnson, great all-pro player, if I can get it out, in San Francisco. Quiet, does the job on every play, doesn't get a lot of interceptions because people don't throw his way an awful lot. So you don't hear his name mentioned like you hear Lester Hayes. But if you were a team and you could select one defensive back in the league, I guarantee you most of them would pick Mike Haynes as their pick for the defensive corner position.
Third down and 15 from the 25. That is Page in motion from the shotgun. Kenny, flag is down. And Page cannot hold on. Another flag sails in. It will be holding against Kansas City.
Well, Phil, that's the thing I talked about at the beginning of the game. Kansas City really fears the pass rush from the Raiders. The Raiders put so much pressure on the quarterback. They do it from so many different places. Howie Long, 75. Number 93, Greg Townsend. Lyle Alzado, Sean Jones.
72 offense, holding, still third down.
That one was on Dave Lutz, and he was guilty of holding 93, Greg Townsend. People down here refer to him as a Fred Dean type of pass rusher. 4 sacks coming into this game. Let's watch again. Left side of your screen, number 93. That's Greg Townsend. Well, I think that Lutz had a handful of black jersey. A little tough to see up here, but the official on the spot picked it up.
Now it is 3rd and 25. It is caught. Billy Jackson at the 29, well short of any first down yardage. And coming on is Nick Lowry to try and put the Chiefs on the scoreboard.
Well, in the NFL, he has the highest percentage of all the kickers, 75.5%. He has a strong leg, and that one's going to be about a 47-yard attempt, I think.
Jim Arnold, the punter, will hold for Nick Lowry. A 47-yard attempt, his longest this year, 52.
He's 5 for 5 from this range. course, a lot of those have been on artificial surface where it's easy to kick from.
Will it creep over? No, it is not even close. Wide right and too short. So the Los Angeles defense holds, or perhaps it would be more apropos to say the Kansas City offense fizzled. Be back. Best passing offense in all of football, but today Mark Wilson 1 for 4 for 1 yard. And he'll try and improve upon that number right here. Sideline pattern, a comeback pattern to number 85, Dokie Williams. Did he catch it or did he not? Boy, Kevin Ross, the rookie out of Temple, is claiming the ball bounced in. Oh, a couple of the Chiefs are vehemently upset, but they'll give him the catch. A first down at the 44.
Well, Mark Wilson had a lot of time to throw this football. He used a play action, dropped back, and Dokie Williams ran a deep pattern. Let's watch number 99, Mike Bell. Let's watch the pressure he's trying to put on the quarterback. That's Kurt Marsh, left guard, number 60, on the pass protection. But it was a little too late. Mark Wilson had plenty of time to throw the football.
That's Marcus at the 47. Crosses the midfield stripe at the 49-yard line of the Chiefs. Albert Lewis. Kansas City very, very young at the corners. Lewis in only his second year out of Eddie Robinson country. Of course, that's Grambling. The other corner, Kevin Ross, a rookie out of Temple. But you look, Gene, at this entire Chiefs ball club. 23 players with 2 years or less experience.
It seems as though every week when we do a football game, you hear about how many players on the team with little experience.
Ball is loose. Allen, I believe, pounced on it. Fellas in red and white scrambling after the ball.
And you can believe they're still fighting for it down there.
Now the Raiders held on.
See how Calvin Daniels, he's upset like he had it and they took it away. Let's watch from the sideline. Ball bouncing away from Marcus. He gets back underneath the pile to come up with it.
Never really had control of the ball.
But again, that's something that's really uncharacteristic of a Raider football team. Those little mistakes that sort of stall a drive. You know, they certainly didn't play that way when they went to the Super Bowl. Well, they've gone to several Super Bowls, but the last time there they didn't. And they didn't have the injuries, too.
Play action out of the eye. Wilson rolling right, pursued by Bell. Unloads. It is caught by Dokie Williams at the 43-yard line. Dokie Williams out of UCLA, a senior year. He only caught 8 passes for Terry Donahue's Bruins, but 4 were for touchdowns.
Well, I don't think there's much bothering Mark Wilson's thumb. Watch how he throws this football. He gets some zip on this one. That's a beauty.
Now you wonder how the Bruins didn't use Williams more in their offense when he was at UCLA. Of course, he was a triple jumper. Didn't come out for spring ball, and the word around these parts is Terry Donahue was not happy about that. 1st and 10 at the 43. There's the draw. To the 42-yard line, a gain of 1. Frank Hawkins, he is down by Gary Spaney. 7-0 here at the Coliseum. Let's go to New York for this update. Thank you, Bob Costas. Well, the Oilers, after squeaking out the victory last week at Arrowhead, have to believe they can go out and beat the world now, wouldn't you suppose? Wilson, look at all the time he's got. Now dumps it off. At the 37-yard line, it is Frank Hawkins. A gain of 5. Calvin Daniels tackles him.
Well, Mark Wilson is doing a good job of finding his secondary receivers. On that last play, he had Christensen, he had Marcus Allen, and Cliff Branch all on the same side of the field. So it's clear that he wanted to throw the football someplace in that area. But he dumped it off. Frank Hawkins gets the ball beaten up. 3rd and about 5 to go for the first down.
Well, the roar you just heard here at the Coliseum, the public address announcer just gave the score. Buffalo defeating the Dallas Cowboys today. Wilson unloads, and he was hit by Mike Bell just as he cocked his arm.
Lucky thing for Kansas City because Cliff Branch was wide open all by himself. Mike Bell saved a big completion. Tom Flores looks on the sideline. You know, Mike Bell really plays particularly well on tremendous quickness. Now, when you play on this grass, after having played on artificial surface a lot, You get tired as the game goes on. It's like playing on the beach. So it'll be interesting to see how in the fourth quarter, how much zip Mike Bell and some of the other defensive linemen for Kansas City have.
Ray Guy will angle it. And I don't know if he got it or not. The officials will indicate a touchback. He did not send it out of bounds inside the 20, so Kansas City will have the ball at their own 20-yard line. The clock showing 7 minutes, 52 seconds to play in the first half in Los Angeles on a 77-yard fumble recovery by Rod Martin, lead it by a touchdown. And it'll be a good one. The Patriots and the Dallas Cowboys, Thanksgiving Day. It all takes place right here on NBC. Share your turkey with the Peacock. 7:52 to play, first half. Bill Stone, Gene Washington, the Raiders out in front of the Chiefs 7-0. That is Herman Hurd. Kinney swings it out. It is cut by the tight end Willie Scott at the 30-yard line, just shy of the first down, I believe. Yeah, he got it. So it is a first down at the 30.
Kansas City going back to the short-range passes where Kinney gets rid of the football in a hurry. And they're going to have to stay with that type of pass offense because of people like Greg Townsend, Howie Long, Sean Jones applying the pressure. They're going to have a tough time dropping back and trying to get the ball downfield deep unless they do it with play action.
Now they got Lester Scott one-on-one with Henry Marshall, but again it is a short stuff. Carlos Carson has it. Another first down, as Gene said. Kansas City utilizing the intermediate routes. An 11-yard gain, another first down, and he caught it in front of Mike Haynes.
This is a good catch by Carlos Carson. Watch how close Mike Haynes is. He comes all the way across the field. Pretty good coverage, but Carlos Carson is so quick that when he makes a break, he can get that separation. Then people like Mike Haynes and Lester Hayes have to try to catch up with him. In those short zones, with his quickness, he's very dangerous.
First down. The 42-yard line is the place. The reverse.
Number 93, Greg Townsend, the second year out of Texas Christian. Look at this. Now, you have to be quick to be down at the line of scrimmage and come back and catch someone as fast as Carlos Carson. That's why they refer to him as a Fred Dean type of defensive end. He's got some quickness.
A big loss. The Chiefs having trouble moving the ball down the field. Second down and 18.
Look at the Raiders up there like they're going to come with a blitz. They back out of it.
Kinney, quick release at the 41-yard line. It is cut.
Boy, he zipped that one in there to Walt Arnold. James Davis, 45, was all over him.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is KCRA-TV Channel 3, Sacramento, where the news comes first.
5 minutes, 58 seconds to play in the first half. The Raiders, a 77-yard fumble recovery return by Rod Martin. And that has been it.
Again, the Raiders very tight. Here comes a blitz. Strong safety blitz.
Kenny going for it. Carson! And Kenny overthrows him. Carson got out behind number 23, Otis McKinney. And Bill Kenny simply overthrew him.
That is a matchup that Kansas City would like to create. Carlos Carson man-to-man against someone a lot slower than Hayes or Haynes, but he got the pressure from Mike Davis on the blitz, didn't have time. There you see number 26, Van McElroy, coming over. He didn't know if Carlos was going to catch it or not, so he said, I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to go for the hit anyway.
Arnold sends it deep. It is cut by Pruitt, and he'll go nowhere. Down at the 14-yard line, a 44-yard punt by Arnold. Gary Parker on the tackle. So the Raiders will have the ball at their own 15-yard line. 5 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the first half. Certainly not turned into your great offensive display. The Raiders with 81 yards, Kansas City with a grand total of 55 thus far in the first half.
But the difference, the Raiders are doing to Kansas City what Seattle did to them. They're winning on defense with turnovers. The touchdown, 77 yards, I think it was, Rod Martin.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing else. It was the 9th return for a touchdown via a recovery or an interception against Kansas City this year. That is Marcus Allen scooting out of bounds at the 18-yard line. You go back 2 weeks ago, you want to talk turnovers against Kansas City. The Seattle Seahawks, Gene, in that 45-0 win over those guys, had 4 interceptions returned for touchdowns. And that was an NFL record.
Bruce Davis, left tackle, the man who's had his share of problems, but also had his share of problems with both of his knees. Limits his quickness.
2nd down and 7. Wilson pocket collapses, releases the ball to Christensen. He's got it at the 24-yard line. Albert Lewis on the tackle.
Albert Lewis made the stop.
The Chiefs are paying an awful lot of attention to Todd Christensen, as they should. Last year he led the league with 92 receptions. The Raiders want to get the football to them. And I believe in that philosophy. When you look at an offensive team, you should take something away. And I think that Kansas City, their game plan is to take away Todd Christensen.
And for good reason. He is 3rd in the AFC in receiving. Look at that. You see Kellen Winslow is 1 catch behind him, and Kellen hasn't played for 3 weeks. And will not play the remainder of 84 because of the knee injury. Out of the I formation, that is Marcus Allen. And oh, is he met at the line of scrimmage by a rookie out of Temple. Now that's a hit Kevin Ross will remember for the rest of the year.
But Kevin Ross hit Marcus behind the line of scrimmage. Now, you'll get an idea how strong Marcus is. Watch where he's hit, but watch where the ball ends up. Look at that. That's what's got the first down. 22 yards on 5 carries. Mr. Marcus Allen. When you look at his combined total yardage, you know, you add to that the fact that he has in receiving coming into this game another 600 yards or so. He is some offensive weapon for the Raiders.
First down, Wilson with time. Now the pocket collapses and Wilson is banged down. That is the 2nd sack of the day.
That time it came from number 71, Dave Lindstrom. We're looking at Mike Bell, number 99, but it was number 71. Let's watch from the end zone. 91, Ken Kramer in the middle, but there's 71. Dave Lindstrom, he's the man that puts the pressure on. Then Mike Bell comes in, puts the finishing touch on the sack. There you see Bell highlighted number 2, Kansas City. Number 2 in the league in terms of sacks behind Gastineau for the Jets.
Kansas City going with 4 down linemen. Marcus Allen will find it difficult to run against that alignment, and he goes down at the 15-yard line. For Allen, a loss of 2. It is Lindstrom again with help from Jerry Blanton.
Marcus had a play similar to that in the Super Bowl where he went way in one direction and changed, came back the other way, but that time the pursuit was there. Again, number 71, Dave Lindstrom. 40 touchdowns in 36 games. Marcus Allen.
He is already, Gene, in only his 3rd year with the Raiders, 9th on the Oakland Raider list in scoring. Rolling left. Wilson, he could run it for a long way. And now he waits too long.
Fumble.
Oh, pops loose and it goes out of bounds. The Raiders will retain possession.
He took some hit. Watch the hit he takes here on the sideline. Ball pops loose there. And then Kevin Ross, number 31. Some blow. Let's watch number 46, Todd Christensen. He's going to get open, but it may be a little too late because Mark Wilson takes off. Now, he appears to be wide open now, but Mark Wilson is already running to the right side of your screen, and Todd is just hoping that he might look in his direction, but he doesn't.
And we talked about that statistic a few moments ago. Raiders with 6 turnovers last week. But they have held on to the ball today. Ray Guy. His 6th punt of the day. And it is not a good one. J.T. Smith at the 48. And he won't get much. At the 45-yard line, down he goes. A 36-yard punt for Guy, a 4-yard return. The clock stops with 2 minutes, 35 seconds to play in the first half. And the Kansas City Chiefs in good good field position to try and get right back in this ball game. They trail by 7.
There you see the head coach, John Makovic. His team here with 2:35 to go. The first half, they're in good field position. He would like nothing more than to get some points on the board here because these Raiders have been a little inconsistent. If they can get something going, they'll be in great shape.
This is the best field position the Chiefs have started to drive from all day long. There you see Carlos Carson moving to the top of your screen. Herman Hurd has the football, and he is knocked off his feet at the 42-yard line. And helping him down was Sean Jones, rookie out of Northeastern.
Sean Jones ready to stop.
Look at that yards per average for Herman Hurd. 4.5 yards a carry.
And he has the speed to get outside. Pretty good receiver, too.
3 wide receivers now for the Chiefs. One of them, Carlos Carson, goes in motion. Kenny, oh, is he hit? Fumbles the ball. Forward route. That's going to be a forward route.
It's the Raiders' ball after the 5-yard penalty.
Again, the Raiders, and you watch Rod Martin. Rod's going to get tired of running up and down the field. Oh, he's smiling. He likes it. But it was a forward pass. It was clear. But the Raiders, they're the beneficiaries today so far of the turnovers. Let's watch from the end zone. Kenny is claiming that his arm was moving forward. Rod Martin is the man who hits him. Howie Long picks up the fumble, laterals to Rod Martin. You can't even do that in rugby, let alone in football.
Well, Rod Martin is denied his second touchdown of the day. But more importantly, the Raiders have the ball and the lead.
One fumble recovery on the day. He picked it up, lateral the ball ahead, but there's a man who made it all possible. He started it, blitzing from the blind side. Kenny not seeing him, losing the football. Now the Raiders have it.
That's Frank Hawkins. He moves it to the 34. A gain of 14 yards. Duron Cherry knocks him down. Clock continues to run. We are inside a minute 35 first half.
The Raiders may be able to take advantage of this seemingly letdown. It's a psychological letdown for a team. When they appear there in good shape, the offense turns it over. The defense has to come back on the field. The Raiders may be able to take advantage of this and get some points on the boards themselves before the half ends.
That is Kenny King. Turns the corner.
Oh!
And is taken out of bounds. Mike Bell had him in the backfield and could not hold on.
Kenny King uses his speed. As you said, Mike Bell was there, but he just runs away. There's Spaney. Now, watch this blow he delivers to the halfback. Oh, Kevin Ross wasn't expecting that at all. Kenny King lowering the shoulder pads and helmet.
A gain of 6 yards. It is second down and 4 now from the 26. Now, stay tuned. NFL 84 coming your way at halftime. That's Kenny King again. Turns it upfield and moves it to the 20-yard line. Jerry Blanton on the tackle. A first down for Los Angeles.
This is beginning to look like more typical Raider football. Turn those big offensive linemen loose. Let the running back pick his hole. Kenny King running wide to the right, to the left side before, this time starting out wide and cutting it back up for a nice gain. There you see the time ticking away.
Wilson.
Pressure's on.
He was looking for Cliff Branch on a post pattern.
But the Chiefs had the blitz on with their strong safety, Lloyd Burris. Watch on the top of your screen, number 34 on the right-hand side of your screen. He is a strong safety. No one was there to block him. He gets in, knocks the ball away. Let's take another look from the end zone. The left side of your screen, there it is, number 34, the strong safety, Lloyd Burris. Putting the pressure on.
Burris just about ripped Wilson's shoulder off. Clock stops, 27 seconds to play. It is second down and 10 from the 20. Branch again, post. But this time Wilson goes to Dokie Williams at the 13. And the clock stops with 19 seconds remaining. The Raiders want a timeout.
Someone in the Kansas City pass coverage didn't do their job because Dokie Williams is standing there all alone. No one is around him at all. Look how far he's open. Kevin Ross finally coming up making the tackle. We'll be back in just a moment. Raiders 7, Kansas City 0. He's over on the bench. The trainers and the team physician, they're talking to him. It appears as though it's either a knee or an ankle. He's holding on to his knee there.
19 seconds to play. First half, Coliseum in Los Angeles. The Raiders trying to pad their 7-0 lead.
And you would think that they would throw the ball once. There they are. Take the shot one time. If they don't get it, kick the field goal. Touchdown! For Dokie Williams, number 85, and I have to believe this is the best pass that Mark Wilson has thrown all season. Couldn't be any more perfect. Look at that. Beautiful. That is a beautifully thrown ball. Nice pattern by Dokie Williams. 6 points for the Raiders.
And Barr tacks on the point after. It was exceptional coverage by Kansas City's Kevin Ross, but as Gene mentioned, an exceptional pass from Mark Wilson. Next Saturday, James the Heat Kinchin meets Alex Ramos, who played his high school ball. Oceanside, California, went on to UCLA. Senior year, caught only 8 passes, but 4 of them, Gene, were for touchdowns.
Well, he got his second touchdown of this season, and that was a beauty. Only 11 receptions, though, coming into this game. Hadn't seen an awful lot of passes thrown his way.
Stephon Page will take it down on one knee with 13 seconds remaining. Bill Kenny and the Chiefs offense will come on. The Raiders with a touchdown in the first quarter on a 77-yard fumble recovery returned by Rod Martin. And a 12-yard scoring strike from Wilson to Williams in the second period, lead at 14-0.
Special Raider World Championship merchandise is on sale here in Sacramento.
You can see for Bill Kenny, the interceptions. You don't want to have more interceptions than touchdowns. That's the ratio that usually determines how well your football team is doing. And that gives you a good indication of what's happening with this Kansas City team. More interceptions than touchdowns for Bill Kenny. We'll be back in just a minute with 13 seconds to go in the first half.
Don't forget, stay tuned. NFL 84 coming your way 13 seconds from now. Bob Costas will update you on all that has gone on and is going on around the NFL. Kenny. Intended for Billy Jackson, and he could not hold on.
Now, that's a good indication of what's happened for Kansas City in the first half. They haven't been able to execute very much at all. Couldn't even get a screenplay run right. But they'll have the entire second half to try to regroup. The Raiders, coming into this game, they wanted to execute, and they've done it. Done it on offense and on defense, scoring both ways.
Bill Kenny was looking at, but he was staring right at the eyes of that man, rookie out of Northeastern, Sean Jones.
This ball hit Sean Jones right in the hands. Watch this, right side of your screen. Oh, what is this? What do I do with this?
It's funny, some of these players can go through years of playing football and have never touched one. Defensive men would fit into that category. 4 seconds left. Out of the I formation now. There's a flag. So there will be one more play. That is Herman Hurd.
It may not if it's against the offense.
I think it's going to be against the Raiders for jumping, unless they were pulled off.
Burl Toller, number 37, official. There it is.
75 defense, offside, 5-yard penalty, and we'll run an untimed down.
Now, Howie Long has had a terrible game. Jumped off sides now. A couple of sacks, a fumble recovery. He has certainly done it all for Los Angeles. Oh, what a first half.
So with no time left on the clock, the Chiefs get one more chance. And I would expect a draw or a screen.
Kenny. Looking for Billy Jackson, and he just threw it away. That's it. That man cannot be very happy. His Kansas City Chiefs trailing the Los Angeles Raiders. Mistakes, mistakes, and more mistakes for the Chiefs. 14 Raiders.
Halftime, Miami 21, San Diego.
Well, you go back to the last 4 times these two teams played. The first time this year, Raiders won it 22-20 at Arrowhead. Go back last year in their first meeting at Arrowhead Stadium, the Chiefs lost 28-20, but boy, Gene, they only trailed by a point, 21-20, before an interception return for a touchdown in the final seconds. The second game last year, the Raiders won it 21-20. Ted Hendricks reached up to block a Nick Lowry 48-yard field goal attempt. So they have played some tremendous football games over the past couple of years.
Well, if Kansas City is going to do anything on offense here in the second half, they have to do something to contend with the pass rush of the Raiders. So I think they need to try to run the ball a little bit to slow down that pass rush, then use some play-action passing to get the ball downfield.
That is J.T. Smith. And he will be swarmed under at the 16-yard line. And it is Stacy Torin, a rookie out of Notre Dame, who takes him down.
Stacy Torin mid-stop.
Offensively for Kansas City, here they come. It is Bill Kenny at quarterback, Billy Jackson, Herman Hurd are the running backs, the wide receivers, Carson, Henry Marshall, Willie Scott is the tight end. The offensive line, Herkinoff at left tackle, Brad Buddy is the left guard, Rush, Tom Condon, and Dave Lutz close out the offensive scheme of things for the men in red and white. That's Carson in motion. To give this side. Otis Brown to the 17-yard line. Defensively for the Raiders, the defensive line. It is Howie Long, Bill Pickel, and Sean Jones. The linebackers, Van Pelt, Matt Millen, Bob Nelson is sideline. Darrell Bird is filling in. Rod Martin at the right side. The backfield, Hayes, Davis, McElroy, and Mike Haynes.
Well, the Chiefs came out running. They didn't get very much. Only about a yard and a half. They'll have to do a lot better than that.
That's Herman Hurd on a draw. He moves it out across the 22-yard line and is down. Jack Squiring, third year out of Illinois, on the tackle.
Well, they're going according to what I thought they would do this time. Herman Hurd getting the football. They really don't have a chance against these Raiders, particularly being behind by 14, unless they can start to slow down the pass rush. And to do that, they have to establish the run. This third and about 5, this is a pass down. No play action here. Throwing the ball all the way.
Third and 5.
There's the pressure. Once again, Greg Townsend. Chiefs just can't hold the Raiders out. Kenny doesn't have time. Look at Dave Lutz. He just gets pushed right back into Kenny. Greg Townsend had him on roller skates.
Jim Arnold to punt it away. Here's a good one. Back in Greg Pruitt up at the 30-yard line. The flag is down. A 56-yard punt, a 9-yard return. Walt Arnold on the tackle.
While the officials are talking this one over, Jim Arnold, that was a very good punt because the Raiders stood to get the football in very good field position. We'll listen for the call. illegal man downfield. Someone went downfield, one of the interior linemen, too soon. Raiders guilty of illegal use of the hands will do it all over again. I'm sure that Arnold would like to get another punt off as well as he did the prior one. That was a beauty.
Arnold will do it again. They'll spot the ball once more at the 14-yard line.
Greg Pruitt reminds me of Willie Mays playing center field when he catches a punt. Let's see if he does it again. He catches a punt so low, right down by his waist.
Low punt. Pruitt should have a big return at the 39. And a return is 7 yards. A 47-yard punt. Again, it is Walt Arnold down to jump on Pruitt. So here come the Kansas City Chiefs defensively. And they will have some problems because Bill Moss, the nose tackle, is out. Likewise, Mike Bell with a bruised right knee. We'll be back.
Watch.
Bill Stone along with Gene Washington. 12:48 to play in the third quarter. The Raiders with a 14-0 lead over Kansas City. Out of the eye. Kenny King runs right into Gary Spaney. A gain of 5.
Dave Lindstrom, number 71, in the middle of your screen. He's the man who gets double-teamed on that play. He's playing for the injured Mike Bell. And it's Lindstrom's job to be able to play both positions, both defensive end positions, and on occasion has played nose tackle.
Yeah, there's George Brett. Hello, George. Again, Kenny King running for a first down through Calvin Daniels.
This is where the Raiders like to be, out in front, run the football, let their big offensive linemen do some work. There you see number 79, Bruce Davis, holding off Dave Lindstrom as he pursues down the line of scrimmage.
A first down now from the 43-yard line. Again, Kenny King. And he won't shake free that time. Lloyd Burris from his strong safety spot up at the line. Calvin Daniels also there, as is Ken McAllister.
McAllister shaken up a little bit. McAllister's been around a little bit. Quite a success story, though. He was a basketball player in college, I think, at USF.
Yeah, with Bill Cartwright.
Went to Seattle, made it as I believe he was a free agent there, played strong safety. And now the starting linebacker on the outside for the Chiefs. Good athlete.
Did you see a little tight end duty at Seattle? I think it was somebody else, Gene.
Well, Seattle had a couple of basketball players up there. Tice, I think, was a college basketball player. And 3 tight ends, all about 6'7".
Wilson going for Cliff Branch, and it is intercepted by Kansas City. Albert Lewis has got it. And it'll be a face mask, I believe, against Cliff Branch.
Mark Wilson had tunnel vision on this pass because Albert Lewis was standing there just waiting. Cliff Branch going for the football. Instead, he comes down with Albert Lewis' face mask.
Penalty after the interception will go 5 yards to the Kansas City ball, first down.
Now, you notice this penalty was only 5 yards because the official thought it was unintentional. An unintentional face mask is 5 yards. Intentional is 15.
Well, Cliff Branch will take the 5 yards.
Cliff would rather have had the football. But Mark Wilson shouldn't have thrown that ball at all. He zeroed in on Cliff going to the right side, and Albert Lewis was standing there.
A first down for Kansas City now at the 16. Short drop for Bill Kenny. Willie Scott, the tight end, is hit immediately by Jack Squirick, who is playing for Matt Millet.
That may be an area where Kansas City can be effective with their passing game is in the short zone to the inside, because with this lead, the Raiders are more likely to play zone defense than they would if the game were closer or if they were behind. Tend to be a little more conservative, so we may see Kansas City move the ball down the field a little bit with the Raiders.
Overs, the key element there. Kansas City with 2, and they both led to Raider touchdowns. That's Herman Hurd across the 25 near the 26. Bill Pickell, the nose tackle on the tackle. Well, wherever you are watching us across America, we certainly hope you are enjoying NFL football today on NBC. Bill Stone along with Gene Washington, 10 minutes and 1 second to play in the third quarter. Los Angeles with a touchdown in the first period. They added another in the second quarter, and that is where we stand, 14-0 Raiders.
Well, the Chiefs, last year they had some very high-scoring games with their prolific passing game. But this year they've scored 10 or fewer points in 4 of the last 9 games. Haven't been getting across the goal line.
Ken Lacey, a flag is down on the far side of the field. Lacey stopped by Jack Squirick and Lester Hayes.
Defense, number 53, lined up in the neutral zone. They'll take the penalty. It'll be a first down, 5 yards.
Rod Martin, guilty party. Rod trying to get in and get another, I think Rod wants to run the distance of the field again for another 6 points. He likes that.
Raiders, that was their 5th penalty, totaling 55 yards in this ball game. First and 10, Kansas City. Kenny. A receiver. It is Henry Marshall. And he is stopped by Mike Haynes.
Henry Marshall did an outstanding job of coming back to catch the football. Knowing that he had Mike Haynes on the coverage, he knew that he couldn't just stand there and wait. Left side of your screen. 13-yard reception. Watch how Henry Marshall comes back to the football, then goes up, plucks it out of the air. And when you're a receiver and you know you have Mike Haynes behind you, you have to be aware that he closes so quickly. So you go to the football.
A first down. Play action. Kenny again wants to air it out. Sideline. Pass intended again for Marshall. But this time Haynes was right there.
Mike Haynes is in his hip pocket. Can't go to the well too often. Watch this coverage. Mike Haynes just sort of gliding along. Sees a break. Look at that. That's beautiful. In order for that to be a completion, it has to be right on the money, and that's a long pass.
8 minutes, 45 seconds to play in the third quarter. Kenny's numbers today, not impressive. That's Hurd, and not much there. Dives to the 45-yard line. Clock runs. Let's go to New York for this update. Here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, the news is Los Angeles, the world champions, on top of the Chiefs, 14-0. From the shotgun on 3rd and 9. Kenny going for Carson, and he can't get to it. Coverage by James Davis. And now the wave has begun here at the Coliseum. I didn't know if the fans here were ever going to wake up.
Well, Jim Arnold's going to get a chance to try to improve on his 45-yard average. That's tough to do, but see what happens.
Take a look at this one. Pruitt will let it come down. And it takes a Kansas City bounce. Down at the 8-yard line. Walt Arnold. A 54-yard punt for Arnold. Jim Arnold. So the Raiders will begin at their own. Now it is spotted out near the 9. Well, realistically, Gene, if the world champions want to be a participant in Pete Rozelle's postseason party, they've got to win all the way out. They need to win today, and they will also need help from the New England Patriots, the other team that at this point is vying for the last wild card spot. We'll be back. The 9-yard line. It is Frank Hawkins, the upback, Marcus Allen, the tailback. And that's Marcus. And he takes on Kevin Ross, puts his helmet down, and they go plastic to plastic.
I think Kevin Ross is tired of these Raider running backs laying the leather, so to speak, on him. First it was Kenny King, now it's Marcus. But Kevin, he gets a nice licking on that one.
Now, thus far, Kevin Ross, the rookie out of Temple, Gene, has nothing to be ashamed of. He has played that man about as tough as any corner has played Marcus this year, particularly against the run. Now Marcus will try the other side. Big opening in the middle. Oh, look at it go!
The feeling that at some point in this game Marcus is going to explode. The bomb goes off right here. Marcus cuts back as well as anyone in football, looking for it, outruns 34 Lloyd Burris. Watch the straight arm here. Not quite enough. Kevin Ross grabs the jersey and holds on, possibly saving the touchdown.
That man, 8 carries, 64 yards. Hawkins, not much. Maybe the 43 and down by Calvin Daniels.
Again, the key is Mark Wilson looks on for the Raiders coming into this game. They felt that the one thing they wanted to do was to execute properly, avoid the turnovers, not come in with anything new, just do what they've done, but just do it a little better.
Wilson, 8 of 14, 63 yards, a touchdown to Dokie Williams, and an interception. But you have to believe at this point of the game as if the Raiders will predominantly keep it on the ground. This time, Wilson goes up top to Todd Christensen, has a first down at the 34-yard line.
Well, it makes it a lot easier to throw passes like this as we watch Todd Christensen when you've been able to run the football as well as the Raiders have here coming into this second half. 92 receptions last year, 4th best in NFL history. And he is such a good athlete. You know, traditionally for a tight end, he isn't as big as a lot of tight ends. He was a running back prior to that. He has excellent hands, good maneuverability, good balance, and oftentimes his responsibility is to beat linebackers.
Marcus met at the line of scrimmage. Dives ahead for maybe a yard. Dave Lindstrom tackles him. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is KCRA-TV Channel 3, Sacramento, where the news comes first.
Second down and 9. 4:44 to play, third period. The world champions leading the Chiefs 14-0.
This is the type of drive that the Raiders have not had a lot of this season. Intercepted.
Williams, and it is intercepted.
No, he drops it. Oh, Albert Lewis had that one. He had that one. Woohoo! Mark Wilson, you get a reprieve. You get a reprieve. Watch this. Throws the ball right to Albert Lewis. Look at this.
So it is third down and 9. Now Lewis has one interception this year. Wilson will fumble. And the Chiefs have come up with the football. Kansas City has it. And it is Eric Holley, the rookie out of Texas. He caused the fumble. Art still tremendous pressure on Wilson. And the rookie comes up with the loose football.
Let's see who causes the fumble. It might have been Dave Lindstrom. City looking around. Now it's going to come from the left side. There it is. Eric Holly picking it up. Kansas City has the football. Art Still, I think, caused that fumble. We'll be back in just a moment.
Standing in here, they'll produce a touchdown. Got to be what John Makovic's thinking right now. His ball club down by a couple of touchdowns. 4:19 to play, third period. Kinney, Howie Long in his face, releases to Theodis Brown, and Brown takes it to the midfield stripe and is knocked down there, a gain of 5. Van McElroy on the tackle.
Bill, you were right. Howie Long was all over Bill Kinney, but he managed to get the football away. You know, they're caught between a rock and a hard place. They can't run the ball effectively. They can't drop back and throw the long pass with people like Howie Long, Greg Townsend putting the pressure on. One of the reasons, though, is that Kansas City's had an awful lot of problems in their offensive line. They need some kind of a spark, and they need a big play to sort of get people ignited. And you don't know where it's going to come from, but Carlos Carson is the man who's done an awful lot of it in the past. Number 88, he's in motion.
Marshall singled up on Haynes. The give is to Theodis Brown, and he is grabbed right around the ankles by Rod Martin.
Rod Martin made the stop.
Now, Brown has seen limited action, Gene, ever since the San Diego game, and that is not a good sign for Henry Lawrence.
Maybe that just has to retape or readjust the brace on his knee. He doesn't appear to be in any pain.
Third down and 5.
9 attempts, 0 conversions on third down.
Stephon Page is in motion. Kenny, pressure, releases quickly. The pass intended for Ken Lacey, and Kenny is off the mark. Sean Jones in Kenny's face.
5 yards to go.
10 attempts trying to convert the third down. Have been successful. Zip. Raiders again get the football.
Jim Arnold is on to punt it away. Greg Pruitt at his own 10-yard line. 2:49 to play in the third. Well, the way the Raiders have turned around and run on fourth down, expecting to punt, I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere along the line, Gene, the Chiefs might fake a punt.
Well, they're expecting the Raiders have blocked the punt. That's why they shifted their line down on that play.
Now Pruitt will let it go in, and will it creep in? It does.
That is done in the end zone. Will come out to the 20-yard line.
So the ball will come out to the 20-yard line as the clock stops with 2:38 to play in the third period. Los Angeles holding on to a 14-0 lead over Kansas City.
Who played a number of years for the Silver and Black, offensive tackle, Pro Bowler for a number of years, part of the Raider continuity, going from player to coach.
All right, Kenny King just running through and over everybody who gets in his way. Kevin Ross finally brings him down with help from Calvin Daniels.
Phil, you've seen this Kansas City team a number of times this year. We have timeout called one of the chief players. I think it's Gary Spady who's down on the field. While they're attending to him, we'll take a commercial break. We'll be back in just a moment. Linebacker Gary Spaney, the second leading tackler on this team. Bill Moss has already gone out. Watch the right side of your screen. Right in the middle now. Number 59. That's where he goes down. You can see the knees sort of buckle a little bit, but he went off under his own power, so it appears as though there isn't anything seriously wrong with Spaney, and we'll get an update as soon as we can.
Gene, you mentioned Bill Moss has already gone out. Mike Bell, the outstanding right defensive end for the Chiefs, also out with a bruised knee. So 3 of Kansas City's finer defensive players are out of this ball game. That is Kenny King. A flag sails in. King running for big yardage out near the 40-yard line. Calvin Daniels tackles him. Scott Radisich, a rookie out of Penn State, has gone in to replace Gary Spaney. Gene, there's no way you replace the likes of Spaney, Bell, and Moss.
Not effectively, anyway.
79 offense, holding, 10-yard penalty. It'll still be second down.
Well, Bruce Davis continues to have his problems. I think that's the second or third penalty that has been called against the left tackle for the Raiders.
This telecast is presented by authority of the NFL. It is intended solely for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Raiders and the National Football League is prohibited. 2 minutes and 2 seconds to play in the third quarter. That is Marcus Allen in motion. The give is to Kenny King.
Kenny King stopped at the 30-yard line. Kevin Ross.
Bill, I begin to wonder if the lack of effectiveness by the Kansas City offense is beginning to wear on this defensive team. Saying they've given up is too strong of a word, but you look at these Raiders now, and they're running off these running plays at 4 and 5 yards a clip. That's something that they didn't do in the first half against this defensive team, and Kansas City has played well against the run, but it seems as though here in this second half they're slacking off a bit.
Well, quite honestly, Kansas City's defense in the first half played outstanding football. That's Frank Hawkins, and he runs for another 6 yards. Miami continuing to lead San Diego down at Jack Murphy San Diego Stadium by a touchdown. Houston leading the Jets 17-13 in the third. Denver all over Les Steckel's bunch, 42-7 in the third period. Also third quarter score. There your boys are. 49ers leading Tampa Bay 21-10.
Steve DeBerg getting a trip back home to the Bay Area, having started out there.
Marcus met in the backfield. Dave Lindstrom is the first man to get to him. 37 seconds to play, third period. Let's go to New York for this update. Has to make Bronco fans all over Mile High Stadium, Bill, very, very happy in the Denver area. The Denver Broncos appear as if they will hold on to their one-game edge over the Seahawks when the sun sets today. So that does it. Gun sounds. Third period is history here at the Coliseum. At the end of 3, the Raiders 14, Kansas City nothing. We'll be right back to Los Angeles after these messages from your local station.
Well, you have to believe that the pressure is now on Art Still, since 2 of his starting mates that defensive line are out, Bill Moss and Mike Bell. Let's see if he can continue to put forth the big effort that he usually does.
Third down and 5. Wilson, that's Doki, his 5th catch of the day, and it's a first down at the 43-yard line. Ken McAllister drops him.
Hey, well, Doki likes catching that football. He says, just throw it to me, I'll catch it. Had a touchdown earlier, this time in front of the zone defense. Ken McAllister, Chiefs on the tackle.
Gene, coming into this ball game, Doki Williams had only 11 catches. He has 5 today. Hawkins tries to turn it up, does not get much. Maybe 2. Dave Lindstrom and Calvin Daniels tackle him.
Well, the Chiefs defense, if they're going to be able to get back into this football game, because the Raiders are going to run the ball, try to eat up the clock, so the Chiefs are going to have to try to create some turnovers here somewhere or another, either with an interception or, as Seattle did against the Raiders prior to this game, the first man tackle the ball carrier and the second guy go in and try to strip the ball away. Do something to try to get the ball back for your offense.
Gary Spaney, number 59, is back in the ball game for Kansas City. Blitz. Wilson picks it up. Now releases. Oh! Marcus Allen fell down, and Kevin Ross could have gone all the way.
But, Phil, there's something interesting. This field has been resodded. This field has been resodded on the outside. Where Marcus fell down is in the part that wasn't done. You might be able to see the contrast on your screen. You can see the different shades of green. It's not because your set is not working right. The Olympics here created a lot of problems. They resawed the outside, but the middle part of this field is still very rough and difficult. There you can see the contrast in color, particularly in the middle of the field. It's rough and loose. That might have been the reason why Marcus slipped on that pass play.
Third down and 8 now from the 45. Wilson. That's Todd Christensen. He has a first down. Mark Robinson, rookie free safety out of Penn State, brings Christensen down, but not before Todd has a first down.
Well, there's Todd Blackledge on the sideline. with Kinney. Unless Bill Kinney gets an injury, I don't suspect that they'll bring Todd Blackledge in.
Yeah, it used to be not too many years ago when Marv Levy was the head coach. He would think nothing of substituting Steve Fuller and Bill Kinney back and forth throughout the course of a ball game. That's Hawkins to the 42, maybe the 41. Spaney on the stop.
Well, Phil, either the Raiders' offensive line is blocking a lot better here in the second half, or the Chiefs' defensive unit is slacking off a lot. One of the two things. You look at, there have been any number of runs here in the second half where the Raiders have just gone 3 or 4 yards without being touched by anyone.
Dokie Williams, he is the man going to the top of your screen. He has 5 catches today, 1 for a touchdown. He is now one-on-one with Kevin Ross. But the pitch is to this side. That is Marcus. Tries to swing around. Number 20, Deron Cherry, and cannot get by him.
Deron Cherry made a smart defensive play. As we watch the Raider offensive line block, he doesn't go down and try to tackle Marcus Lowes. Watch where he tackles, up high. Because if he's going down, Marcus might have been able to juke him and go all the way for 6 points. Smart play by Deron Cherry.
Third down, less than a yard. From the eye, watch number 32. Nope, it's Frank Hawkins. And it's good enough for a first down. And the Raider offensive line, Gene, now beginning to fire.
Watch how they move the line of scrimmage. The whole line of scrimmage just moves, pushing them back. The Raider offensive line has taken control of this football game, and it's reflected on the faces of the people on the sideline. Coach John Mackovic wondering what it takes to get the fortunes of his Chiefs turned around.
First down at the 33. That's Marcus. Look at him glide inside the 30 near the 27. Outstanding block that freed Allen by Frank Hawkins.
The old student body right. Get those big linemen out in front. Let Marcus pick his hole. 75 yards. Only 12 rushes. Now the thing to remember, Phil, is that Marcus can also throw the ball. So the Chiefs defensive backs, if he gets the ball on a sweep, they can't come up too early. High school quarterback, right?
Yeah, you weren't real impressed with his abilities yesterday at practice, I recall. He got on his case pretty hard. That's Frank Hawkins. He moves it down near the 27. Now the Raiders were practicing the halfback pass, and one of the receivers, I believe it was Branch, came right over near Gene and I, and Marcus overthrew him. And you let out with a pretty good volley.
Overthrew him is a compliment. Overshot him would be by a long way.
Take a look at that statistic. Yards rushing the Chiefs in the second half. That won't win you many ball games in this league. Third down and 5. And now everybody's jumping around. Ken Kramer, the nose tackle, purposely jumped all over Dave Dalby and then started waving at somebody in black.
But it's going to go against the Raiders.
5-yard penalty, still third down.
Mickey Marvin. Mickey must have picked up his hand a little too soon. Chiefs seeing the movement coming.
Mickey Marvin, 6'4", 260 pounds, 88 out of Tennessee. We had a nice chat with Mickey yesterday. Probably one of the nicer guys that adorns the silver and black of the Los Angeles Raiders. Third down and 10 now from the 32. Cliff Branch, Dokie Williams, the wideouts. Wilson. Marcus Allen. His third catch of the day. 14 yards, a first down for the Raiders.
Marcus is an excellent pass receiver. Coming into this game, he had 611 yards on 54 receptions. Number 2 on the Raider team. Just continues to add yardage to that total offensive category that he has.
That's Allen again. Oh, look at him go. Hurdles across the 15-yard line to the 13. Deron Cherry on the tackle. Clock continues to run. We are at 8:32 of the fourth quarter.
Nothing demoralizes a defense as much as just taking the football and running it down their throats. That's what the Raiders are doing to Kansas City right now. You can pass the ball, go downfield and score, but when you run the ball in, it really, for some reason, has a tremendous psychological effect on the defense.
Now look at Marcus's helmet. There are a whole lot of scratches and black marks on that helmet. That has taken some abuse. I suppose he'd rather take it there than on the body. Put that helmet down and slam into people. And here he comes again. Hurdles his way to the 10.
Marcus Allen to the 10-yard line.
Now there's the situation in the AFC East. It is Miami 11-0, leading San Diego today. Pittsburgh 6-5 in the Central, and Denver 10-1 with a 1-game lead over Seattle in the West. The wild card contenders. At this point, Seattle a shoo-in. But look at the last spot in the AFC. It is New England and the Raiders. And New England won big today. Third down and 2. Hawkins slams his way to the 7. It'll be first and goal Raiders.
Being blown off the line of scrimmage, and they're not tackling, not putting their hands around the running backs. Of course, a lot of that has to do with the fact that Mike Bell, the starting defensive end, Bill Moss, starting nose tackle, are both out of the ball game.
The Raiders on. Let's take a look.
Oh.
Look at the time they have eaten up. Hawkins jukes his way inside the 5. Calvin Daniels is there, as is Dave Lindstrom.
I think the Raiders' offensive line likes this. Look at the surge again. Frank Hawkins runs up in there 4 yards before he meets the opposition. They have complete control of the line of scrimmage. Hawkins appears to probably got a finger in the eye. Going to come to the sideline.
Kenny King will check in. Hawkins is coming out. Second down and goal now. The ball with its nose on the 5-yard line. So while the clock stops, we'll take a break. 6:19 to go in this ball game, and the Raiders, they're coming to knock. Number 33 is Kenny King. He will be the up back. Marcus Allen is the tailback. Marcus, 40 touchdowns in 36 games. And now it is Allen in the slot. King has the ball, sweep left. Nothing doing. The Chiefs stack him up.
Stops at the 5-yard line.
Kevin Ross, the rookie out of Temple. What a game he has played, Gene.
Well, as soon as they lined Marcus up in that wing position, you had the feeling they were going to run in that direction. Usually when the Raiders get down in this part of the field, they put Marcus in the eye, give him the football, and let him find a hole or jump over the top. But Marcus is a good blocker.
Al King and Allen are the setbacks. This is the 20th play of this drive, which has consumed already more than 10 minutes. Wilson wants to put it in the air. Going for Dokie Williams and overthrows him by a mile. He just got rid of that football. And the fans here in the Coliseum, Gene, are booing. But I think it was a wise move on his part.
Well, I think the coaches told him in this situation, don't take any chances because we want to score. Don't turn the football over with.
Barr converts from 23 yards away. But Marcus Allen on 1st and goal from the 5, not once saw the ball. Next weekend, tee off with golf's greatest foursome, the Skin. 10 seconds to play. You see the time. The score, the Raiders 17, the Chiefs nothing. And for this 3rd consecutive week, the Kansas City offense, Gene, has quite frankly looked pathetic. At the 5-yard line, that'll be J.T. Smith. He's across the 20, out near the 25, near the 26, and down there.
J.T. Smith will pick up the 5-yard line.
So Bill Kenny is coming back on. As Frank Hawkins gets that eye or nose ice down, clock stops again. We'll be back to the Coliseum in Los Angeles.
Some offensive teams would like to have this much time elapsed for an entire half, 12 minutes, 31 seconds. The Raiders did it in one drive.
And only came away with a field goal, Gene.
Well, that's better than nothing,
I suppose.
They haven't done a lot of that this year, and that's a sort of a psychological boost for the offensive line of the Raiders.
Now the Chiefs on 1st down going right to the shotgun.
Oh.
That's Carlos Carson. He has a 1st down at the 46-yard line. Lester Hayes, a 19-yard gain. And take a look at this. The Chiefs are going into their 2-minute offense already with 4:41 to play.
But let's
Here they come again.
Going for broke, just throwing the ball downfield. Good coverage. Carlos Carson coming up with it.
Oh, it is caught. No, it is not caught. The ball bounced. Rod Martin on the coverage.
Well, it wouldn't be a Kansas City Chief Raider game if we didn't have a few exchange of words. Let's watch that play again. Look at this. Almost a beautiful catch from Herman Hurd. Just loses it as he bounces on the ground. Makes a nice effort, though.
4 minutes, 31 seconds to play. Well, stay tuned. Time permitting, we will be taking all of you to San Diego for the conclusion of the Dolphin-Chargers game when we are finished here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Kinney on 2nd and 10. Stephon Page. Flag is thrown. Very late flag. The ball had already gone out of bounds when the flag came in.
Must be close to a record for number of holding penalties in one game. Both sides being caught. See who the guilty party is.
Holding, 72 offense, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Now, Dave Lutz has had his number called a couple of times. In fact, back in the 1st quarter, he was whistled twice on the same play.
Lyle Alzado watching from the sideline. Had a groin injury, suffered against Seattle Seahawks.
Now, Kansas City today, 16 rushes, a total of 18 yards. Well, that says it all. Kenny. Intercepted and dropped. Lester Hayes had it and could not hold it. Now the clock stops with 4:21 left. Let's go to New York for this update. Now, thank you very much, Bob Costas. I was talking to some of the Charger coaches earlier in the week, Gene, and they were very confident they would do well against Miami because the Dolphins employ primarily zone defensive coverages.
Dan Fouts eats up the zone better than any quarterback, except maybe with the possible exception of Mr. Joe Montana.
Here's Kenny on 3rd and a bundle. Oh, does J.T. Smith take a hit? A flag is thrown. It will be holding, I believe. And Smith pops up like nothing happened.
But Rod Martin laid it on JT on that play.
Holding, 72 offense, penalty refused, 4th down.
You don't suppose the officials are looking at Lutz, do you?
Well, he shakes his head and trots off.
Now Jim Arnold is on. This will be his 8th punt of the afternoon. Guy has put it up 6 times today. Greg Pruitt will watch this one come down. It's the good roll, and it will be down there at the 10-yard line. A 53-yard punt for Arnold, and the clock halts again at 4:04. And here come the Raiders. They lead this ball game 17-0. Ball game. And the Raiders can thank the Kansas City offense for the bulk of their successes today, Gene.
Well, Phil, the Raiders are likely to keep running the football. They did so well the last time they had it. Let's take a watch from the end zone, see if we can see any holes open up or see if the Chiefs close it up.
Now you're going to see what Marcus Allen sees, and he's running out of real estate, but look at him go.
Marcus Allen.
Well, if you're going to stop Marcus, you have to tackle him. The first Kansas City player that got there didn't wrap his arms. He just put his shoulder into Marcus. Marcus continued to go and picked up another 3 or 4 yards.
See more and more of that, Gene, in the last few years in the NFL. Not so much putting your arms around a player and tackle him as much as just bumping him out of bounds or bumping him down.
Well, when you're near the sidelines, you can afford to do that if you're sure that your blow is going to be able to push the running back out of bounds. But when you're not close, you have to wrap the arms.
This time, Kenny King will try it. With not nearly the success. It is Lloyd Burris. Flags are down.
Burris made the stop.
There's the face mask penalty against the Chiefs. Well, there's a happy man after a few weeks of not being very successful. There's the face mask penalty.
5-yard face mask penalty on number 34 defense. We'll replay the down. It'll be first and about 1 yard.
That's Lloyd Burris. A total of 15 penalties in this ball game, 10 against the Raiders.
And again, Phil, that penalty only being 5 yards because it was incidental penalty. Grabbing the face mask wasn't intentional. If it's intentional, it's 15 yards.
Well, the Colts will come into the Coliseum next week to tangle with the Raiders. The Chiefs are off to play the Jets. Make that the Giants, pardon me. There at Rutherford, New Jersey. Now San Diego is within a touchdown, as you heard from Bob Costas a moment ago. Fouts to Joyner. Houston leading the Jets 24-13 in the fourth. Denver looks like they will hold on to first place in the AFC West, out in front of the Vikings. Tampa Bay coming back.
Fred Dean playing his first game, supposed to play his first game today for the 49ers.
3 minutes and 10 seconds to play in this game. Don't forget, stay tuned. We will be switching you to San Diego for the conclusion of the Dolphin-Chargers game if time permits. Now that's Marcus Allen to the 34. Not much. Albert Lewis and Jerry Blanton. Now, we told you the Raiders play Indianapolis next week here, and then they go on the road to tangle with the Dolphins at the Orange Bowl and into the Silverdome in Pontiac before closing out the regular season against the Pittsburgh Steelers here in Los Angeles.
Jim Plunkett got to watch this one from the sideline, take another week, let that injury to his abdominal muscles healed up a little more.
Second down and 10. Allen, Kenny King are the running backs, and that is number 33, Mr. King with the ball. He fumbles it. And about 5 Chiefs fall on it, Kansas City. That is the third turnover by the Raiders today, but they have not cost them.
Well, when the Raiders had everything going their way, I guess they can't stand the prosperity. Kenny King turns it over. Kevin Ross, well, he was on it first, and one of the other Chiefs came up with the football.
Art Still is the man who sprung the football loose. I told you, next week the Chiefs are going to take on the Giants, and then it's home for a couple of games. 3 of their last 4 against divisional opponents. So while Kansas City will not be a party to the postseason action, they can certainly affect who is. First down, Kansas City. And already Kenny will go to the shotgun. That's Lacey. Tries to reverse his field. Can't do it. Martin is there.
Well, the Chiefs are going to take, well, that's a 2-minute warning. Bill Kinney hit the south. Another fight.
They got a fight. Sean Jones, the rookie out of Northeastern, finding out what life in the NFL is all about. We have reached the 2-minute warning, and now here comes another one of those fantastic finishes here on NBC. 2nd down and 5. The Raiders trying to preserve a 17-0 shutout over Kansas City. Interestingly enough, the last time the Raiders shut anybody out was the season opener of 1977. Face mask. And I don't believe it's going to be called. Now, don't forget, stay right where you are. We will be taking you to San Diego for the conclusion of the Chargers-Dolphins game. And boy, have they got one going in San Diego. 28-21 Dolphins. 4th quarter.
5-yard face mask penalty, 22 defense. We'll tack it on the end of the run.
Another unintentional face mask. 16th penalty, Gene, of this ball game.
Mike Haynes, number 22, is a guilty party. There it is going by, sort of grabs the side of the helmet. Burl Toller, the referee, right on the spot. Mike Haynes is a player who will not be penalized very often. Very smart player. Tremendous athlete.
Class player all the way. I want to thank our spotters today, Tim Tallman, Chuck Panama, our statistics man, and a good one, Dennis Mnuchin. Job well done, gentlemen. From the 29-yard line, 1:52 seconds to play. And now Kinney will go into the shotgun.
Here comes a blitz by the Raiders. Oh!
And a flag is thrown.
It's going to be interference, I think, against the Raiders. They'll decline, take the reception.
A 27-yard reception.
Bill Kinney threw this ball. Carlos Carson didn't even know it was on the way. He turned around, the ball hit him in the hands.
Illegal contact, number 37 defense. Penalties refused. 1st down.
Well, Gene, Washington, you're absolutely right. It is a whistle against Lester Hayes.
As you watch from the end zone, Carlos Carson doesn't even see this ball until it's thrown at about 5 yards from him. Not much that Lester Hayes can do about this particular play. He has coverage to the outside. Ball thrown quickly to the inside. If anyone's going to get there, it has to be the free safety.
That reception, Gene, by Carson, 27 yards, equals the Chiefs' longest drive of the day.
Well, they may avoid a shutout if they don't turn it over.
Kinney.
Wide open.
The tight end, Willie Scott.
Bill Kinney on the rollout. Willie Scott faking down on the block. Then he comes to the outside. No one there, wide open for 6 points. The Chiefs avoid the shutout. Let's watch the running backs on their fakes. Hold the linebacker. Nice job of faking by Billy Jackson. Holds the linebacker, strong safety, just enough for Willie Scott to come up with 6 points.
Now Nick Lowry is on to attempt the point after. Well, it took Kansas City 58 minutes and 19 seconds to get the goose egg off the scoreboard. But it'll take them at least until next week, Gene, to get the monkey off their back. He boots it through. So the Raiders will get the football back with 1:41 seconds to play. They still lead this ball game 17-7.
One goal to remain in the game. Nick Lowry will probably kick an onside kick. At least that's what the Raiders are expecting. You can see they have their hands team, as you call it, up. All the men up on the line of scrimmage who have the better hands. There it is. Oh, it went. Chiefs may have it.
It did not go 10 yards, but a Raider came up and touched it inside the 10-yard zone. And the Chiefs have the football.
The mistake by the Raiders here is that the player comes up before the ball gets to 10 yards. Once he touches that ball, now it's a free ball. Let's watch again. Stacy Turan, number 30, he moved up to try to get that onside kick before it traveled the 10 yards. Once he touches it, it's a free ball. Kansas City has it again with 1:41 remaining.
I know about 50,000 people around Middle America, the Kansas City area, that just came out of their chairs all in one motion. 1st and 10 Chiefs. Kenny. That's Marshall. The flag is down. Reception good. Clock continues to run. But they will stop it now with the flag.
Could be against the Raiders for blocking downfield against the receiver. He'll still use the hands downfield. Oh, they call holding against Kansas City.
That has to be at least the 8th holding call we have seen in this ball game.
But the flag is thrown from a peculiar place.
Penalty still 1st down.
Hell, a very peculiar spot.
There you see the timeouts left. Both teams 3, 1:34 to go. Stranger things have happened.
1st down now in 20 from the 33. The Raiders with 7 defensive backs. That's the Otis Brown. And again, a flag is down. I believe it's going to be a late hit on Kenny. It'll be against Howie Long. An 18-yard completion, and they'll tack another 10 on from where the play ended. Well, that's a big, big penalty against the Raiders, Gene. Make it 15 yards. A 33-yard play.
It's against Howie Long, number 75. There you see him going up the middle. Kenny throws the ball. Oh, that's close. That's a little close. I mean, his momentum was carrying him into the quarterback. But that's a tough call. It's like pass interference. Those are two of the toughest calls in football.
Well, most important, perhaps of it all, Gene, is it stopped the clock on the penalty. And that is certainly an ally of the Kansas City Chiefs at this point. They are down 17-7, 1:26 to play. Kenny, sideline to Marshall, and is underthrown. Double coverage on the far side of the field by Lester Hayes and Mike Davis. Again, clock stops. Houston stepping it out over the Jets, 31-13. And there's a final.
Boys did it up in the Bay Area, jumping on Tampa. Now, I think, Phil, that if Kansas City is going to have a chance here, they have to get the ball thrown in the middle of the field. They would like to be able to get out of bounds, but I believe they still have 3 timeouts left. In this situation, they're going to get lots of pressure on their outside people, right up tight. Over the middle is where it's likely to be open.
From the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Blitz.
Here comes the pressure.
Kenny unloads. It is intercepted.
James Davis, number 45. Back up, cornerback. Pressure from the Raiders. Kenny throws the ball backing up. Just sort of lost it out there, intended for Stephon Page. But James Davis comes up with the interception. And he's going to keep that football, put that in his den.
So at the minute, 14 seconds to play, Los Angeles has the ball. They have a 17-7 lead. Kenny King churning out near the 44. And a minute and a half left in San Diego, where the Dolphins and the Chargers are locking horns. And Miami continuing to lead San Diego by a touchdown. Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen are watching that game, and we'll do our best to get you down there for the completion of that game, providing things wrap up here. But keep in mind, the Chiefs, with 3 timeouts remaining, are going to stop the clock whenever they can, and they have just used 1 of those 3 right now.
Well, the Raider offensive line can feel good about their performance this afternoon, particularly on that one drive where they consumed over 12 minutes. That's the kind of effort that they've been looking for. They haven't had in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, they were humiliated by the Seahawks, Gene, 45-0 up in the Kingdome. They lost to Houston last week, a team that had lost 23 consecutive road games. For 58-plus minutes here, they were shut out. I would wonder if folks around Kansas City at this point are beginning to question the offensive schemes of John Mackovic and company.
Well, I don't know if that's the problem. That same offensive scheme produced an awful lot of points last year.
Kenny King.
I don't think you can fault the scheme. I think that they've had certain players that have been injured. Their offensive line has been changed around an awful lot because of injuries. The quarterback situation has changed because of injuries. This man has certainly had his share of injuries.
Again, the Chiefs will call the timeout. Now, what is very interesting is the world champion Raiders, Gene, could wind up with the same record that took them all the way to the world championship last year, 12-4 at the end of regular season. And there is a reasonable chance that should the Patriots continue to win, that same 12-4 record would not get the Raiders back into the playoffs this year.
Well, I think it will. There's a lot of football left, but if the Raiders finish 12-4, it's my feeling they'll be in the playoffs.
Well, they'll need help from the Patriots. That's Kenny King bouncing to the outside. He stiff arms Greg Hill and goes out of bounds. And that will automatically stop the clock. A 15-yard gain.
The happy Marcus Allen. Another good day.
San Diego to score. Miami 28. San Diego 28.
Well, there is big news from San Diego. The Chargers have just tied up the Miami Dolphins. It is 28-all. Don't go away. We will take you there in 53 seconds. Merlin Olsen and Dick Enberg standing by. Down on one knee goes Wilson. And I don't think the Chiefs are even going to bother to stop the clock. Immediately following football coverage, we will join the Silver Spoons program. In addition, all remaining NBC Network evening programs will also be seen over most of these stations, except for Pacific Time Zone and some Mountain Time Zone stations, where those programs will be seen at their regular times. But boy, the way it looks now in San Diego, we have got more football to play today. And down he goes again. So that is it, the last play of this ball game. The Los Angeles Raiders have broken the 3-game losing streak. They are back in the win column. A 17-7 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. For Gene Washington, I'm Phil Stone. Thanks for joining us. Right now, we take you to New York at NFL 84.